Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order a meeting of the Plan Commission of the City of West Bend. It's Tuesday, August 6th, 6 o'clock p.m. We recognize a quorum of our full Plan Commission here tonight. More than 24 hours in advance of this meeting, notice of the time, place, date, and subject matter of the meeting was posted in accordance to Wisconsin state statutes. I'd like to invite you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here tonight. We have 9 items in front of us tonight. The first one is our regular meeting minutes of our Plan Commission meeting on July 2nd, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Chris. Are there any comments, questions, corrections? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll move into 2020 Comprehensive Plan and Zoning Amendment.
Our first action item for this evening is a comprehensive plan amendment number 30 for a public hearing and a request to recommend a change the recommended land use from multifamily to two-family in the 2020 comprehensive plan for the city of West Bend for approximately a half acre at 1904 and 1914 River Drive in the city of West Bend. This is a public hearing for land use plan. We're going to have another hearing, which would be item number 2 for the zoning. I was talking to the mayor earlier today, and we thought we might actually hold both hearings and then we could take action after both, because there might be information from either of them that you might want to consider before taking action on the first. So I thought I'd just mention that, and I'll turn it over to the mayor to open the hearing.
Do you want to do a staff review?
Yes, I'll turn it over
first?
to,
Okay.
Sorry, I'll turn it over to Jim to provide an introduction of the topic.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. So back in June of this year, the Plan Commission reviewed the request to set the public hearing for that half acre of land located on River Drive. The consideration is to change the land use from the multifamily land use to a two-family land use. The little bit of background on the property is that the structure was destroyed by a fire, and the land is now vacant. A developer has moved forward and asked if there was a possibility of doing the change to the two-family use, just due to the size of the lot, the restrictions of the lot, with the grades and easements and utilities that run through that. So the property owner is proposing the change and asking the change to the two-family use. The surrounding area to the west of the property is single-family. There's a grade change with the hill there. Also, to the north is two-family existing that there, and to the south is multifamily. Staff has reviewed the request and finds that this proposal could be an appropriate alternate, just given the uses that are in that area and the extension of the two-family from the north going to the south. So if the Plan Commission finds the recommended land use to be acceptable for change, we ask that the Commission approve the resolution that's attached as part of the packet.
Thank you, Jim. So I will open up a public hearing for approximately 0.5 acres of land located at 1904 to 1914 River Drive. This is a public hearing on the recommended land use change from multifamily to two-family. So if anybody from the public wishes to address the Plan Commission tonight, feel free to step up to the microphone and state your name, and you will be heard.
Hi, I'm John Reynolds, and I just want to know who is behind this so I can talk to them. I'm not against it at all. I'm looking at putting solar panels on my house, so I want to know kind of what they're going to build. It might change my whole mind and say, no, I'm not going to put them up.
Good question, John. I believe this is coming from the property owner. Is that correct?
I don't have the exact property owner, but we do have their agent here. As American Construction was part of the zoning amendment. We could probably get you in contact with them, that they could probably get you to the appropriate people.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, John. Anybody else wishing to address the Plan Commission on this topic? Seeing none, I will motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Paul. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, so the public hearing is now closed. And like John said, we're going to hold on taking an action on the actual motion here and move to the zoning amendment, which also requires a public hearing.
So the zoning public hearing tonight, sorry about that. The zoning public hearing amendment for tonight for half an acre at 1904 and 1914 River Drive is from RM4, multifamily residential district, to an RD2, two-family district. The applicant is Driftwood Investments.
So this is the actual zoning request for the change. So we're actually going from the RM4 multifamily to an RD2 two-family residential. Again, this is just to facilitate for that construction of that new two-family instead of a multifamily building there. All property owners were notified of the public hearing. At the time, we received one public inquiry. The individual was not opposed to the change for the zoning. So staff would recommend approval of that rezoning from the RM4 to RD2 two-family, contingent upon the council approving the land use change also.
All right, I will now open a public hearing on the zoning amendment at the same property located at 1904 to 1914 River Drive. This is a zoning change from RM4 multifamily residential to RD2 two-family district. Again, if anybody wishes to address the Plan Commission on the zoning change, this is your opportunity during the public hearing. Feel free to step to the mic and again, you will be heard. Seeing none, I will motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, John. Motion and a second to close public hearing. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So we'll go back up to the land use change, and I will look for a motion on the recommended land use change from multifamily to two-family.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Matt. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Paul. Any comments, questions, discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And I'll now entertain a motion on the zoning amendment at the same property from RM4 multifamily residential district to RD2 two-family district. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, John. Motion and a second. Any comments, questions, discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. We're going to do the same thing for the next two items on our agenda. So John, take it away.
Our third item this evening is a comprehensive plan amendment, number 31, for a request of a recommendation to change the recommended land use from commercial to industrial in the 2020 comprehensive plan for the city of West Bend for approximately 9.64 acres of land located at 2320 Sylvan Way in the city of West Bend.
Thank you. Jim?
Thank you. Again, the Plan Commission back in June of this year initially reviewed the request and set the public hearing for tonight. This is for 9.64 acres of land. Originally, really the only part that we're changing for the land use recommendation is the northern end of this property. A little bit of history with this one also is that the car dealership did a certified survey map, reconfigured the properties out in the area, and created a lot for their property on the lot to the east where there was another building there. And as a part of that, the northern end was still part of the dealership at the time. So this is just kind of a remnant for the land use from recognizing the previous existing land use. So this request is actually to make this all consistent. The remaining portion of the property is already intended for industrial land use. So this is just to take it and clarify and clean up the land uses in the area. The developer is proposing future expansion for the property to the east and then also to the south of the main area. The land uses in the area consist of commercial to the west, multifamily to the north, and industrial to the east and to the south. Given the various uses out in the area, staff felt that this would be an appropriate change to recognize the existing uses to the south and to incorporate the extension to the north. As part of this, there would be a zoning change also from the, which is currently B4 General Business and Warehousing District, and would go to the M3 Planned Business Park District, which is more of the lighter side of industrial for that business park. If the commission finds the change to be acceptable, we ask that we approve the attached resolution for that. Staff did notify everyone within 200 feet per requirements, and we received one general inquiry, and the individual was just wanting to know what the plans were for that future change.
Thank you, Jim. So we'll open up a public hearing on the land use change at the property located at 2320 Sylvan Way. Again, this is the land use change from commercial to industrial. So if anybody from the public wishes to address the Plan Commission, please step up to the mic. I will motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Thank you, Matt. Motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And I will now open up the public hearing on the zoning amendment for the same property. Again, this is at 2320 Sylvan Way, and the zoning changes from B4 General Business Warehousing District to M3 Planned Business Park District. Anybody wishing to address the Plan Commission on the zoning change, please step up to the mic. I will motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Matt. Motion to close the public hearing. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we will move back to the motion on the actual recommended, the motion on the land use change from commercial to industrial. So I will entertain a motion to change the land use from commercial to industrial on the property located at 2320 Sylvan Way. Thank you, Jeff.
Second.
Thank you, John. We've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And I will entertain a motion now on the zoning amendment from B4 General Business Warehousing District to M3 Planned Business Park District at the property located at 2320 Sylvan Way. Thank you, John. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Scott. Any comments, questions, discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, John, we'll move on to discussion on a concept plan.
Sure, we have a conceptual discussion conceptual plan discussion for a development on 33 acres of land for residential development proposal located near the north and east of the intersection of Daisy Drive and Clearview Drive by Diamond Holdings LLC. Then I'll turn this over to Jim to give you a brief background.
All right, thank you. So back in June of this year again, the Plan Commission denied a request for a planned unit development, which included a site plan certified survey map and a zoning amendment. As a part of that discussion, the developer asked for some guidance from the Plan Commission in regards to developing this property to see what you as the commission would like to see for out in that area. Took the comments that the commission made along with the neighborhood discussions that were at the public hearing, and has presented a concept plan for the 32.8 acres of land that he owns. This proposal includes creating a traditional 30-lot single-family subdivision with outlots. As a part of that, the development would include municipal services for sewer, water, and storm sewer, along with an urban street section. The property itself is already zoned RS4, which is single-family residential. The lots do vary from roughly 7,200 square feet up to 16,600 square feet. There are a couple of tweaks on the well, once we get past this for the plat that will need to be made on their submittal for square footages and frontages to make sure they comply with the zoning districts. There are a couple of them that seem to be just a little shy of the basic requirements. So as a part of that, we will make sure that those are addressed. Clearview Drive is intended to be extended to the north. This will lead for future development to the north. The utilities would get extended all the way to the north also for that. Daisy Drive would be extended to the east and terminate in a cul-de-sac bulb. And the remaining approximately 21 acres or so is slated for a future development. More than likely, depending on the layouts and whatnot, that this 20 acres would probably be a single-family plan unit development, lending itself for this due to the configuration of all the environmentals with the wetlands, the floodplain, the environmental corridor, and it would just be very hard to try to put public roads in there and get the cost sharing on that or the cost balancing for that. Again, that future 21 acres would still require plan commission approvals, depending what route they go down on. So really what the developer is asking the commission is, their thoughts and recommendations or any comments or concerns pertaining to the development that we do have here. So depending on how this is developed and platted, it could be platted in one subdivision and constructed in phases, or we could be platting them in, say, two phases and constructing them in two subdivision plats.
Great, thank you, John and Jim. And again, this is no action tonight. It's discussion, as Jim talked about. I'll ask if there's anyone from Diamond Holdings or Parish Survey and Engineering, if you'd like to come forward and talk to the Plan Commission. Yeah, you're welcome to, please.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Swartout with Parish Survey and Engineering.
I'm John Loffer with Diamond Holdings.
I feel like Jim did a good job of explaining what's all there. I would just like to reiterate that we definitely heard all of the comments and concerns from the neighbors and the Plan Commission at the meeting a couple months ago, which is why this is being presented as just a typical subdivision, which is what it's completely surrounded by. We also did get permission from engineering to extend the road to be in a line with existing Daisy Drive. There's previously concerns with that before, but we were able to, again, adjust that too, because we heard that there were concerns with that as well, which does help make this, able to be designed as a typical subdivision as well. So.
Yeah, I just, with what Mackenzie said, with the cost structure of what it costs to put improvements in today's environment with new streets and roads and everything else, I believe that the current configuration with the single-family lots and then a PUD, a future PUD down the road is really the only feasible way of actually doing the development on this property, because I just don't think you'll get enough density to cover the cost on everything without getting a few more units to defer some of that cost and spread it out evenly on with all of the lots that are going in there.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to add to that and say that we have tried laying out typical subdivision lots with a public road and the rest of the development. And like John was saying, it's just not cost prohibitive. You just can't fit anything in there with all the restraints with the wetlands and everything, unless it were to be that private roadway with the PUD. So that's why that's that option there.
I would also like to say, I believe it's, Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's 6 units per acre if in RS4. So the total acreage is 32 acres. I mean, it realistically could be 180 homes if the wetlands weren't there. So, I mean, it's significantly reduced from that because of the wetlands. And Clearview is an arterial street, so it's designed to handle heavy traffic. I don't believe there should be any issues with the amount of density that we would be asking for with the property.
Yeah, you're right, John. The base density is about 6 units per acre in RS4.
So they're looking for our feedback here tonight, and I'll be happy to go first. I really like the update that you've come back with, and you're right, Mackenzie. You listen to a lot of neighbors and Plan Commission comments. Comment I made a couple of months ago was I didn't like Daisy Drive being offset. You've got that in alignment, if you will. And then there were comments from neighbors on, the street's not listed there, but they didn't like the way that the lots didn't line up to the back of their lots on the southern portion of this picture, which they now do line up to their lots. So I think it looks nice. I like the single family along Clearview and Daisy, and then if you down the road extend the neighborhood beyond to the northeast there, you've kind of created that buffer of single family homes if you decide to do something different up in that area. So I think it looks nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll ditto that. I was pretty vocal a couple months ago, and but this is how the process, I think, is supposed to work. That we heard from the neighbors, we shared our concerns, and I like what you've come back with. It looks good. It fits. It seems like it's just a natural extension of the existing subdivision. So well done.
John?
Same comments, basically, and from what I saw, when I saw this, it's what they asked for. I commend you. You did a nice job. I think it should be what everybody's looking at, and I don't know what they'd have to be able to argue on.
Go ahead, Mike.
Do you know if you'd be able to save some of the trees between the existing homes? I know there was some of the concern with that, but that'd be tough to do.
I think we'll be able to save it. I'm not exactly sure where the property lines come out yet, but we'll try to save as much as we can,
That'd be
obviously. But that is to be determined once we actually see what's there. And, I mean, with the setbacks of, I think it's 25 feet, we should be able to save, I would think, a 10-foot row.
There is a 5-foot Trenton buffer
That's
between
right.
the lots too. So no matter what, they wouldn't be able to remove or disturb anything within that 5-foot buffer either, because neither of them own it, so.
No, I think it looks nice to address the concerns.
Thank you.
There's a 5-foot Trenton buffer in
Yeah,
there?
it's a town of Trenton strip.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's not true, we own it,
Oh. I didn't
but
know.
we can't do anything with it, so.
Oh, that's fair, that's fair, yeah, okay.
I don't know
Okay.
if anyone would like to buy a lot in Trenton.
Any other comments, John?
Actually, I did have one more. Jim had mentioned that there were a couple lots that didn't meet the minimum size requirements. Do those need like any kind of special approvals or anything in this, or are they fixable? That
No, as part of the concept, again, the concept is more of a schematic, but they will have to be addressed when we do the preliminary plat for the actual subdivision.
I did already fix it too, when it took out, so.
Any other comments, discussion, questions?
I will add something.
Max?
So I agree with everybody that this new concept is way better than what was proposed last time. Thank you. Obviously, this is a concept plan, so like Jim mentioned, we'll work out some details on the roads, easements, lot dimension, etc. But that's more with, the development plan, subdivision plan, etc.
Matt?
Just a question as a matter of process. Because this is not going to be changing existing zoning, this does not then come back for a public hearing, correct? Or is there still a public hearing on whatever the new plan would be beyond the concept?
No, so you are correct. There is no public hearing. The only time that we would hold a public hearing is if we would be doing some kind of a zoning change or an amendment. So this will actually just start following the general platting process.
Got it.
So really the next step would be for them to do a preliminary plat, which is going to provide the layout, a preliminary grading plan. They'll start working on stormwater and all their utility designs for that. So commission will take it and do the review of the preliminary plat. It also goes to the state and to the county. And then after that, then we roll into the final plat.
Great. Thank you for clarifying that.
However, when they get to the second or third phase where they want to develop the big green area, then they would have to change the zoning. So that would be at some point down the road, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And just to clarify, there was some communication with some of the people who came to the public hearing. We did indicate to them that depending on what they submitted, if it was a standard subdivision, there wouldn't be a public hearing, and they should just pay attention to the regular agendas if they wanted to, come or watch online or whatever.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good questions. Any more discussion questions? John McKenzie, thank you very much for being here tonight. This looks good. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll move on to a site plan and architectural review.
Thanks, Mayor. Our first site plan and architectural review tonight is for a 10-foot by 12-foot digitized artwork located at 125 North Main Street by the historic West Bend Theater. And I'll turn it over to Jim to provide a quick summary.
Sure, thank you. So the theater is proposing to do an art installation. It's a 10-foot by 12-foot digitized piece of artwork that will be placed on the east side of the building, facing the Riverwalk. The proposed artwork is done by a prominent Wisconsin artist. The installation will be done on a vinyl print and will be mounted on a backer board and hung on the building's side. The Museum of Wisconsin Art was notified and had time to comment and express any concerns pertaining to the installation. They have not any concerns or reached out to us in regards to that. So staff would approve or would recommend approval of the site plan just as presented.
All right. I know Kathleen Minter from the board of the Bend is here, and Leona Knobloch is here as well, co-executive director. If you have any questions for them, they are here to answer any questions. They do love speaking in public, so. Kathleen, come on up.
I'm Kathleen. I do have one comment. We had a little bit of change in the size. It actually went a little bit smaller, so it's going to be an 8-foot by 10-foot and a half now. There's 3 panels that go up, and they're each 42 inches each, so that comes out to 10 and a half feet. So we decided to downsize just a little bit. And it'll be approximately anywhere from 6 to 8 feet off the grade. Any questions?
Is that any sort of substantial change that needs to be reviewed?
No, we'll just make note in the minutes on it.
Okay. And she, if anyone wants to see it, she's got a neat print of it sitting at her chair there that she showed me before the meeting.
This is the art that would be the 8 by 10, and this is about approximately what it would look like.
I will, go ahead, Mike.
Just note that it's substantially smaller than this.
Yeah, I think it's going to look nice rather than just painting the brick. I think it'll really dress that up. And it's not going to cover everything, but it'll cover most of it. I think it'll look real good there.
I will entertain a motion on this.
I'll make
So
a
moved.
motion.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, yeah. I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Chris. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Matt. I'll continue to pass that around. Any comments, questions, discussion? I love the fact that you've got a local Wisconsin artist. This artist has been on display inside of MOA, and obviously that is our Milwaukee River, and there's a little bit of a history in our minutes here talking about how that was a sewer for 100 years, and now it's a vibrant river, it's fishable, and this celebrates the beautiful river that we have right through the city and obviously right behind the Bend. So, all right, there's a motion and a second. Any more comments, questions, discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for being here tonight. We have a request for an architectural change next.
Yes, our third item for site plan and architectural changes are for 1285 West Paradise Drive by Vortex Pickleball Club. And I'll turn this over to Jim for a quick summary of the couple items that are changing.
Sure, thank you. So Vortex Pickleball Club submitted a proposal. They're requesting 2 urban design exceptions for the exterior of the building. The first one is some painting of the accent bands on the building. You have a middle band and a lower band. They're asking for corporate colors to be painted on there, and they're green and blue. And then also on the EFIS panels on either side of the main entrance door, they're asking for that design exception. The second exception is for a vinyl product being placed on the windows for screening purposes. It's designed to block the sunlight coming into the building. There are pickleball courts that are actually adjacent to the entrance windows and the doors there. So what they're asking for is an exception to cover up the windows to screen out the sun from those pickleball courts. It appears solid from the outside, but when you come inside and look out, you can actually see through it. It's actually a perforated material for that. We did contact the police department to see if they would have any concerns in regards to that. They said that they didn't have anything that was concerning to them in regards to that. So if the Plan Commission would grant the design exceptions, staff would ask that we put a condition on there that at whatever time, whenever they discontinue the use or leave the property use as a tenant, that the two accent bands be painted back to the earth tone color that it originally was, along with the EFIS panels, and that the screen wall be removed from the entrance doors.
Thank you, Jim. I know Lori and Patrick are here tonight, and I apologize, I don't know who you're with, but if any of you want to come and talk about this item, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to, but feel free if you'd like.
Any questions?
All right, we'll open up discussion on this item. Are there any discussion or questions for Prescott's?
I guess, Pat, just a clarifying question on the bands. Is that only on the south facade, or does that wrap around on the north and or the east and the west side of the building as well?
Only the south.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Any more questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Matt. Second by John. Any more comments, questions, discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And now we'll talk about a sign at the property.
Our last item for this evening is a request for a planned development agreement addition for a sign located at 1285 West Paradise Drive for Vortex Pickleball Club, and I'll turn it over to Jim to give you a quick summary.
Thank you. So this proposal is for a modification to the main ground sign at basically the intersection of the main entrance of the Walmart corporate center area and Paradise Drive. This proposal is for a 2-foot by 10-foot directional blade on the south side of the sign. This is to help alleviate the concerns that staff had for finding a location and also finding a compromise to modify the sign that was appropriate for that. The sign, over the course of the 26 years, has been used and divided up multiple times for all the different tenants. It just happened that the amount of tenant spaces has outgrown the sign size. So we worked with the sign company and the property or the tenants to come up with a way to get the additional signage in there. Staff finds the proposal as the kind of the best option for this area for that, and we would recommend approval of the sign.
Thank you, Jim. We'll open it up for discussion on this. Mike?
Was there any discussion of taking that down when they end their lease, or isn't that a big deal? Taking that back to the original?
We didn't discuss that, but we would probably end up just like any other sign panel when the tenant space is open, that it would just be turned blank until a new tenant or a new tenant would go into the space.
I do have a couple of questions for Lori or Patrick on this, if you don't mind. Yeah, thanks. So the city of West Bend does not own this sign, correct?
Correct.
And so was there no option of cutting Dress for Less sign in half, or Dunham Sports in half, or even Walmart's in half, and getting an actual spot on the sign?
Sure.
Is that
I just want to introduce Paul Butler from Bauer Sign. He's been working with us on that, so I just wanted
Okay,
to
thanks, Paul.
introduce him.
Yeah, that's my artwork, and we're doing the storefront signs and also the monument sign out front.
Right,
So, you know,
and then, so there is a landlord and property managers for Walmart or for the entire facility, the buildings and things like that. And so we did ask for that. We asked for half of Dunham's sign because we are in the back of Dunham's. They said, no way, Jose, they're in the lease, they're in the contract with them. And so we've literally got boxed out of the sign, so to speak. So we tried everything. We tried something along the brick at the bottom there, and that's a no per the city. The easement on the south side of that, or I'm sorry, the north side of that is a no-go also with the city, so our option is to go on that northern or southern side of the sign.
Okay. I think that's helpful for all of us just to hear that background. So,
Right.
Thank you.
Well, and additionally, then the question is, did the property manager and landlord approve that addition to their sign?
So this they did, and
Okay.
so they're, I don't know if you want to speak to the Walmart portion of this.
Yeah, so there's two owners that have kind of dibs on that sign. There's Somerset Properties, which is City Point Leasing, I think, is the owner of the eastern portion of that property, and then there's Walmart is what owns the western portion of the property. And potentially Oricon Bank would have some rights to that as well. So our landlord, City Point, has agreed to this, but Walmart, we've yet to hear back from. Walmart apparently is not super at responding, so.
Good question. Any more questions?
I have one.
Go ahead, Max.
I'm just curious. I see it says internally illuminated. So is there a power line there that you're going to use to illuminate the sign?
Feed in from the main cabinet,
Okay.
the monument sign.
Okay.
It would be LEDs, run about 12 volts, you know, and we would.
Can you turn the microphone on and
Oh,
just
I'm
push
sorry.
the cord? There you go.
It would be an illuminated cabinet or module, if you will, 24 by 10, or 2 by 10. It would run about 12 volts of electricity on the LED illumination.
Okay,
on
so
the cabinet.
you're using an existing power source that's there. You're not pulling any more cables on it?
No.
Okay, thank
no.
you.
That's part of the beauty of the whole thing, too, is we would use the existing power source from the existing monument sign.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? I can't remember if I took a motion yet. I don't think so. I will motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Scott. Any more further questions, comments, discussion? If not, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Good luck to you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
With no further business before the Plan Commission tonight, I will adjourn. Thank you all for being here.